So, how much money do you actually need to visit Istanbul? Not the fantasy number, the real one. The one that includes the ticket to the main monuments, the taxi that charges you a minimum fare before you even move, and that simit you're going to buy every single morning, because you will. I live here. I'm going to give you the real prices, updated in August of this year, because some things went up again. And I'm also going to show you how to see almost the same things for a fraction of the price, if your budget is tight. So, if you're ready, let's do the math together. Okay, so this video is for the classical tour. What I mean by that is, you're coming to Istanbul for the first time. You want to see the famous monuments, the ones everybody sees, and you want to know what that costs. I'm going to break it into 3 parts. 1, the monuments and their tickets. 2, transportation, which just got more expensive again. And 3, food, which is the part most people get wrong when they plan their budget. And through the whole video, every time there's a cheaper option or a free option, I'm going to tell you, because Istanbul is a city where you can spend a lot of money or almost nothing, and both trips can be amazing. If that's useful, subscribe. It really helps me a lot. So let's start. The monuments. Hagia Sophia. We have to start here, almost 1,500 years old. It was a church, then a mosque, then a museum, and now it's a mosque again with a paid section for visitors. The ticket right now is 25 euros per person to visit the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery, or 50 euros for a combined ticket which includes Hagia Sophia History and Experience Museum, plus a skip the line pass. Are you on a tight budget? Then here's my alternative. Go to Molla Serek Mosque. Nobody talks about it, and it's totally free. And it's a Byzantine building from the same world, with beautiful architecture and a lot of history. You're not going to have 500 people around you either. Basilica Cistern, the underground cistern with the columns and the Medusa heads. It's beautiful, and honestly, it's one of the ones I do recommend paying for at least once. Ticket 40 euros per person. Tight budget? There are other cisterns you can enter for free. Gülhane Cistern inside Gülhane Park and Nakliben Cistern under the carpet shop Nakash. Similar idea, no fee. Blue Mosque. Good news, it is totally free. It's an active mosque, so you just need to respect the prayer times and dress properly. Cover your shoulders and knees, and ladies, bring a scarf for your head. They lend them at the entrance if you don't have one with you. It costs 0 Turkish liras. Hippodrome of Constantinople, also free, and it's right there in the same square. The Egyptian obelisk, the serpent column, the German fountain. This was the chariot racing arena of the Byzantine Empire. You're literally standing on it, and it cost 0 liras. Topkapi Palace, the home of the sultans for around 400 years, and this one, in my opinion, is worth every lira, especially now that they open new sections you couldn't visit before. Ticket per person is 49 euros for a combined ticket, which includes the palace, harem, and Hagia Irene. And I'm telling you, don't skip the harem. If you want to see what's inside before you decide, I have a full video about it. I'll leave it up here. Grand Bazaar, free to enter. What you spend inside is a completely different conversation, and that one depends on you and your self-control. But here's something a lot of people don't realize. Going to the Grand Bazaar doesn't mean you have to buy anything. You can just walk around and explore it. And if you know where to look, there are corners in there that almost no tourist ever finds. I made a whole video about those spots, and I'll leave it linked up here. Galata Tower. The ticket is 30 euros per person, and this is one where I am going to be honest with you. It's a lot of money for a view. The tower is beautiful from the outside, and you can get almost the same panorama from a rooftop cafe or restaurant in the area, where you pay for a coffee instead. I made a whole video showing you my favorite spot for this, and it's linked up here. Spice Bazaar. Free. Go, smell everything, taste the Turkish delight they offer you, and be aware that the shops right at the entrance are the most expensive ones. Walk deeper in, or better, go to the streets around it where locals actually shop, and it costs 0 liras. Bosphorus cruise. The tourist cruises range from around 5 to 10 euros per person depending on the company, but here's my favorite tip in this whole video. Take the public ferry instead. Şehir Hatları line from Eminönü to Rumeli Kavağı. It's the same Bosphorus, the same palaces, the same mansions, the same bridges, exact the same views. And it stops at different piers on both the Asian and the European side, so you can get off wherever you want. Bebek, Arnavutköy, Emirgan, Ortaköy, Beşiktaş. They leave every day starting at 9:35 in the morning, and in winter the schedule changes, so check their official website before you go. And the price? Around 80 liras per person. 80 liras for the Bosphorus. That's the whole tip. Dolmabahce Palace. The palace the sultans moved to when they wanted something more European and modern. Crystal staircase, the biggest chandelier, the room where Mustafa Kemal Atatürk passed away, and the ticket per person is 35 euros. And these ones are all for free. Taksim Square and Istiklal Street, free. Kadıköy on the Asian side, free. And my personal favorite area to eat. Üsküdar, free. And the sunset from here is unbeatable. Ortaköy Mosque, free. Tiny and sitting right on the water under the Bosphorus Bridge. Süleymaniye Mosque, free. And for me, much more impressive than the Blue Mosque. So what's the total? If you pay for every single paid monument on the list, you're looking at approximately 185 euros per person. If you use my free alternatives for the ones I mentioned, that number drops to about 86 euros per person. Same city, same days, very different bill. Transportation. If you're visiting Istanbul, public transport is the best, easiest and cheapest way to move around this city. I'm not saying that to save you money, I'm saying it because it's generally faster. Traffic here is not a joke. And something important, if you're staying in Sultanahmet, you're barely going to use transport at all for the main monuments. Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, Topkapi, Basilica Cistern, the Hippodrome of Constantinople, the Grand Bazaar, they are all in the same area, walking distance from each other. Now, like everything in Istanbul, prices went up for the second time this year. As of July, these are the new official prices. The metro, buses, trams, the tunnel, funiculars, and cable cars. It was 42 liras. Now it's 46.20 liras per ride. And the Marmaray, the train that connects Europe and Asia under the Bosphorus, it was 74.70 liras. Now it's 82.17 liras per ride. Ferries. These depend on the route, so let me give you the most common ones for tourists. Karaköy to Kadıköy, Eminönü to Kadıköy, or Beşiktaş to Kadıköy. They all cost 65.21 Turkish liras, and Eminönü to Üsküdar, 58.52 Turkish liras. And one thing, get an Istanbul card as soon as you arrive in Istanbul. Every single ride for every person is cheaper with it than paying individually or with a debit or credit card. And you can load it at any station. To learn more about the Istanbul card, such as where and how to purchase, the cost, and how to top it up, you can watch this other video. Taxis. Now, let's talk about taxis, because this is where people get a surprise. New fares, effective as of July of 2026. The taximeter starts at 71.94 liras, not at 0. Then, it's 47.92 liras per kilometer. And the most important one, the minimum fare is now 230 liras. So even if your trip is just 1 kilometer or less, you are going to be paying 230 liras. My advice, use taxis for late nights or when you have luggage or you are already quite tired from walking and taking public transport. For everything else, the metro and the tram will get you there faster anyway. Food. Okay, now food. And this is the part people always underestimate when they plan their budget. First, a rule that will save you some money: the most touristy areas are the most expensive. Sultanahmet, Taksim, Istiklal, Galata. Walk 10 minutes away from the monuments and prices drop immediately. Street snacks: simits, the sesame ring bread you'll see in the red carts everywhere, 20 liras. Grilled corn, a classic, 70 liras in tourist areas. Roasted chestnuts, anywhere from 100 to 500 Turkish liras depending on how many you get. And restaurants in Sultanahmet. In Sultanahmet, a meal at a mid-range restaurant is usually between 7 to 1,500 liras for different types of kebabs. And if you want a traditional Turkish breakfast near the main attractions, expect 1,000 to 1,500 liras per person. I know, and Turkish breakfast is absolutely worth it, but you can eat the exact same thing in a local neighborhood for less money and much better quality. Because here's the truth about a lot of those rooftop places around Sultanahmet. What they are really selling you is the view. The food is average at best. You're paying for the photo of Hagia Sophia behind your tea glass, not for what's on your plate. Go one neighborhood away and you get a proper breakfast made by people who cook it every single day for locals who will never accept average. Some of my favorite places for Turkish breakfast are Van Kahvaltısı Evi, Çakmak Kahvaltı Salonu, and Ethem Efendi Kahvaltısı. Fine dining. Now, if you want the fine dining experience, let me show you an example. This place is right in the heart of Sultanahmet and it specializes in Ottoman cuisine, dishes that were originally prepared for the sultans at Topkapi Palace, and it's been recognized by the Michelin Guide for 3 years in a row. This is what you can expect to pay. But local prices exist in Sultanahmet too. Here's the thing, people don't realize you can still find normal prices even in the middle of the tourist area. One of my personal favorites is Köşk Kebap. These are their current prices. And honestly, that's pretty much the same as the restaurants near my house on the Asian side of Istanbul. Delicious kebabs, fair prices. If you're in the area, this is the place I would suggest. The budget option. If your budget is really tight, 1. Eat in local neighborhoods like Kadıköy, Beşiktaş, Fatih. The price and the food is better. 2. Eat at lokantas. These are traditional Turkish eateries with home-style foods. Already cooked, you point at what you want, you sit down and you eat. This is how Turkish people actually eat during the week. One of my favorite is Balkan Lokantası. They have several branches, including one in Sirkeci, which is very close to Sultanahmet, and others in Taksim and on Istiklal Street. 3. If you like fish, look for Balık Durum, or the fish wraps. Grilled fish, onion, rocket, a squeeze of lemon rolled up in flatbread. They are delicious. They are a proper source of protein and they cost you no more than 200 liras. This is a classic of the city and the best place to have one is Karaköy. 4. Don't forget lahmacun, thin, crispy flatbread with mincemeat on top. You squeeze lemon over it, add some parsley, roll it up, and eat it with your hands. Locals eat this constantly, and in neighborhoods like Kadıköy or Beşiktaş, you're paying between 150 and 200 liras for one. Order 2, trust me. The total. So let's put it all together for a 3-day trip. The full classical tour, paying for everything. Monuments. 185 euros per person in total. Transport, 450 liras or 80 euros per person approximately per day. No taxes included. Food, it can start from 1,300 Turkish liras to 1,800 liras per person per day. If you include a traditional Turkish breakfast, street foods like lahmacun, fish wrap, foods at lokantas or kebabs from places like Köşk Kebap. But you can expect to pay up to 2,800 Turkish liras per day per person if you also include more mid-range restaurants in the heart of Sultanahmet. So total starting from 290 euros per person approximately for a 3-day trip. And for the smart budget version, using the free alternatives, For the monuments, it's a total of 86 euros per person in total. Transport, 450 Turkish liras or 80 euros per person approximately per day, no taxes included. And for food, it can start from 1,300 Turkish liras to 1,800 Turkish liras. And the total, it can start from 180 euros per person approximately for a 3-day trip. Same city, same amount of days, and I promise you both trips are great. So now you have a real idea of what Istanbul costs, the monuments, the transport, the food, and I want to know what you think. Do you think it's worth visiting? And which monument would you absolutely pay for, no matter the price? Tell me in the comments, I read all of them. And remember something important, this budget was for people who want to see most of the paid monuments, but Istanbul is a city where, even if you never enter a single museum, you still have so much to see for free. Kuzguncuk, Çengelköy, Arnavutköy, Balat, the Princess Islands, just to name a few. Neighborhoods that are generally beautiful, completely free, and that can easily fill 3 or 4 days in this city without you spending much at all. That's actually my next video, what to do in Istanbul without breaking your wallet. So subscribe so you don't miss that video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.